sentence of the court in regard to Mr. Lawson's case that he be confined in a penal institution, therein to remain for a period of 20 years upon his conviction to conspiracy to commit murder. It's a further order of this court that he be sentenced to 5 years for complicity to tampering with physical evidence. It's a further order of this court that sentence shall run consecutively for a total sentence of 25 years.
We start with the sentencing today of both men. Breaking news here at 5, the sentencing of Brooks Houck and Joseph Lawson in the death of Crystal Rogers. It was an emotional day in court as several family members took the stand. Hello, everybody, and thank you for joining us as we continue our coverage of this developing story. I'm Doug Proffitt.
And I'm Connie Leonard.
Well, Brooks Houck was sentenced to life in prison, and Joseph Lawson will spend 25 years behind prison. You just heard the judge describing it there. This was the maximum sentence, Connie.
And joining us live now from Nelson County is Alexandra Goldberg and photojournalist Jessica Farley. They've been covering this case, and they were in the courtroom during the sentencing. Alexandra?
Yeah, Connie, Doug, and of course with the maximum sentence delivered to both Brooks Houck and Joseph Lawson, the Ballard family is relieved. We heard 6 victim impact statements from family members, her mother, children, siblings, and other relatives, and they were both very emotional but very direct. Take a listen now to Crystal's mother and her daughter, Kylie Fenwick.
For 10 years I have suffered the pain of losing my daughter. Never once have I seen you shed one tear, not one tear. Never once have I heard you say you were worried about where she was or what might have happened to her. You sat there worried more about your family's name than the woman you shared a child with that you supposedly cared about.
You are nothing but a lowlife. You took a mother of 5 children away. I know you don't care because that's just who you are. You have no heart. Because if you did, you wouldn't have murdered your son's mother. I want you to know I will forever show up here to make sure you never get out.
And Mike Ballard, who is Crystal Rogers' uncle, came out and spoke to the press right after the sentencing, and he said to truly find peace for his family, they would like to know where Crystal's remains are. Looking forward to the future, both defendants do have a right to appeal, and we heard from Robert Boyd, who's the counsel for Joseph Lawson. He said that he will immediately file that appeal that will go straight to the Kentucky Supreme Court. And just to give a little bit of clarity on Brooks Houck's sentencing, he said that life without parole is actually not an option in Kentucky. The most someone can get is life. That is a maximum sentence, and that is what Brooks Houck got. Doug, Connie.
Alexander, thank you. And coming up at 5:30, legal analyst Nick Mudd, a local attorney here, is going to join Connie and I to talk about today's sentencing. We've got a lot of questions for him about what we witnessed today. Then at 9 p.m. tonight, join Nick Mudd, Alexandra Goldberg, and myself for a deeper look at the sentencing on the free WHAS11 Plus app. That 30-minute broadcast at 9 p.m. tonight. And again, it airs on the night team, after the night team at 11:30, again on the WHAS11 Plus app. Download on your TV and you can watch it for free. Now we want to move for the moment to some of the other top stories on this Wednesday. The man accused of killing a Louisville woman in Shawnee Park appeared before a judge today.
According to police, Michael Bullock and the victim, Rachel Hughes, were together at a laundromat on Bardstown Road last Sunday. The two were later seen arriving at the Shawnee boat ramp, where investigators believe Hughes was shot and killed. Authorities say Bullock later returned to the scene with another individual who helped conceal her body.
The defendant is a convicted felon who is prohibited from being in possession of a handgun on 16 CR 939. The defendant is also on federal probation. Through investigation, the victim's cell phone was discovered in the same area where the defendant is believed to have discarded said items.
Bullock's bond was set at $1 million. He's expected back in court a week from tomorrow, September 25th.
At the police chief's weekly briefing today, he warned everybody about Saturday and what a day it's going to be for big events around Louisville. Louder than life, the U of L home game and Churchill Downs racing is underway in September, all right there next to, of course, the fairgrounds.
Yeah.
About 150,000 people.
Yes, and they're all going to be pretty warm, Mallory.
Yeah, temperatures on Saturday very similar to what they've been all week. So we're talking highs in the upper 80s, low 90s, mostly dry conditions now through Saturday. So at least you don't really have to worry about the rain, but you will have to worry about the heat. We're starting off with a live look outside from our Hughes and Coleman camera over downtown Louisville. This is part of our Shriners Children's camera network here. Mostly sunny skies today and another day with those above average high temperatures. We're back in the upper 80s across the Louisville metro. Winds are calm right now. Thankfully, dew points have been lower in the 40s to lower 50s, so that means our humidity is certainly tolerable. Satellite and radar, of course, extremely quiet across Kentuckiana. No rain to track, hardly a cloud in sight there. Your hourly planner looking pretty quiet throughout this evening with temperatures in the 80s, eventually dropping down into the 70s once that sun sets, and then overnight lows will be cooling back off into the 60s in Louisville tonight, 50s outside of the city. So good weather for the last waterfront Wednesday of the season. Warm out there, temperatures in the 80s, winds coming in from the northeast around 5 to 10 miles per hour. Your bus stop forecast for tomorrow will start off in the 60s once again, so very similar to today, and then top out in the upper 80s near 90. I'll let you know when we could feel some cooler temperatures coming up in our 7-day forecast.
Well, the moment of crushing was actually pretty quiet, but a pretty powerful scene right there at the LMPD impound lot today near River Road. Police crushing this green Dodge Durango that they had confiscated from a street takeover with a stolen Hellcat engine right inside it. In their message to the community that illegal street racing and takeovers will not be tolerated anymore. Well, the chief said today that they're prepared to actually destroy more cars if necessary.
That's right. Isaiah Kim Martinez and senior photojournalist Alyssa Newton were there for the spectacle with more details on why LMPD claims they can't sell it.
Down goes the Dodge Durango, crushed with a press of a button by the Louisville mayor. Metro Police Chief Paul Humphrey says illegal street racing in the city won't be tolerated, and police believe this is more proof.
I think it sends a message. You're not going to get your car back if you participate in this type of behavior.
Well, the tags say Bullitt County, but this Frankenstein SUV, as the mayor calls it, has parts stolen from all across the country. According to police, that makes it impossible either to auction off or add to their own fleet.
LMPD says the Hellcat engine was stolen from Detroit.
First time I saw it, it evaded me at a speed of about 140 miles per hour.
Detective Kyle Willis with LMPD's traffic unit has been working for some time to track down cars like these.
There has been multiple instances where I've seen this particular car at different street takeovers across the city.
Street takeovers at Louisville intersections and interstates have infuriated residents. LMPD feels destroying the cars of those causing the issues is an effective way to prevent them from happening.
Is this something that we'll probably continue doing? I would say yes. If we have the right criteria for another car, which we may have already, that's something that we're going to do.
Under the city street racing ordinance, police say they've confiscated nearly 170 cars since 2023. They've auctioned 4 and publicly crushed 1 so far. Isaiah Kim Martinez, WHAS11 on your side.
And according to Chief Humphrey, street racing overall in Louisville is down around 40%. Well, hard decisions are ahead for JCPS as the district looks to shore up a massive deficit.
Officials are now warning that by the end of October 2026, the district's cash reserve will be zero without changes being made from right now until the end. WHAS11's Conroy Deluche is explaining what cuts the districts could be making. Conroy?
Well, Doug and Connie, the deficit was in the spotlight as the school board was discussing the approval of the current working budget. Board Chair Corey Shull calling it a depressing report.
Just another day at JCPS.
At a meeting last month, Superintendent Brian Yearwood and district officials described a bleak financial picture.
He has been messaging everybody that we need $100 million in reductions, not 50, because
the deficit for this year's current budget is $188 million, a level that's not as high as last year's, but the money problems have compounded for the past several years.
So we are currently forecasting that our cash will reach zero in October of 2026, meaning just over a year from now.
Officials emphasize no more kicking the can down the road.
We're at that time in the future where hard decisions have to be made.
Cost of living adjustments to salaries, building upgrades, new fields, security systems, even the price of school buses and maintenance. Those are just a few sources of the expenses that have built up. While district officials did not blame the school board for the deficit buildup, President Corey Shull questioned why they weren't aware sooner.
I would have appreciated the board having that information much sooner than this, so that we could have done some things differently in order to prevent it.
That's a big number. That's a lot of money.
Former JCPS board member Sam Corbett says as the board and district look at cuts, gaining trust with the taxpayers and parents is key.
But I think in order to put the public at ease, they're going to need to make sure that they reassure us that they've literally looked at every program, looked under the old expression, look under every rock to see where you can save some money.
Superintendent Yearwood said a hiring pause to evaluate positions did happen. The CFO has also discussed delaying getting new Chromebooks or school buses. The district could also sell off assets to make payroll. Yearwood says they must act now.
We must be transparent. We must be upfront. We must let you know all celebrations as well as all pain points.
So remember, the overall budget is just over $2 billion, and that budget for the rest of the school year was approved. Now the attention turns to the next budget draft up in January. Yearwood maintains there will not be universal salary cuts, and the classroom experience will be protected. He says if cuts come, the central office will absorb a higher percentage. The district could also seek a property tax increase to raise revenue. Conroy DeLuche, WHAS 11 on your side.
All right, Conroy, thank you. Happening today, another Kentucky Democrat enters the race to replace Mitch McConnell in the U.S. Senate.
The race is growing now. Joel Willett is a former CIA officer and military veteran who grew up in Valley Station here in Louisville. He launched his U.S. Senate campaign today on the Democratic side. Just hours afterwards today, he spoke with WHAS 11 over at Norton Commons. Willett made national news for his criticisms of National Intelligence Director Tulsi Gabbard and President Donald Trump. We asked what his top policy priority would be if he's elected.
We're going to have to fix our tax code. We're going to have to put money to work in rural communities. We need to invest in things. We need more education. We need more health care. You can't just give money to buy these things and not have more supply of these things.
Willett also told us he has talked with Governor Andy Beshear about his campaign. Willett worked as a CIA officer under the Obama administration. He spent the last few years in Washington doing IT work for federal government contractors. This is Willett's first run for elected office, and he joins an increasingly crowded field of candidates, as we've been witnessing even this week. Willett is now the third Democrat in Kentucky's U.S. Senate race. Logan Forsyth launching his campaign yesterday with an interview on WHAS 11. He's a former Secret Service agent under Presidents Obama, Trump, and Joe Biden. And State House Democratic leader Pamela Stephenson of Louisville is also in the race. The high-profile Republicans in the race are the former Kentucky Attorney General Daniel Cameron, Kentucky Congressman Andy Barr, and Lexington businessman Nate Morris. The primary election is next May.
Well, it's going to be another busy weekend here in the Metro. The changes LMPD is making ahead of Louder Than Life and the request the chief is making.
And here's a check of today's Kentucky Lottery jackpot.